I'll pick you up at 10 tomorrow. Do you think you will be okay?
I'm too nervous. I feel like I'm going to wake up too early, so I'm totally fine.
It sounds like you're not going to be okay.
It's a wedding greeting, and I'm meeting your mother for the first time. It's impossible not to be nervous.
I'm sorry, I really wanted to greet your parents first.
No, I'm sorry that my parents' schedule didn't work out. I'm still not sure if your mother is okay with the souvenirs we bought. Should I bring something else?
I'm sure it's fine. We bought Mom's favorites. Besides, my mom lives alone and she won't be able to eat it all by herself.
That's true, but
I'd like to ask you a favor. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you can always say no.
A favor? What's wrong?
Actually, before we go to meet her tomorrow, my mother wants to get in touch with you.
Oh, what do you mean?
She wants me to give your contact information. I told her that we're meeting tomorrow anyway, so if we're going to talk, that's the time to do it. She said there's something she wants to ask you before.
I wonder what she's going to ask me. I'm totally fine with it.
I didn't get the details either. She says she's gonna fix us lunch tomorrow, so maybe something related to that. Like if there is anything you don't like to eat.
That's certainly something I'd ask first if I were in her shoes.
Do you mind if I connect?
Of course not. Anyways, I'm sure we'll be in touch more often once we're married.
My mom lives off of my dad's inheritance and my money, and she has a lot of free time on her hands. If you allow it once, you will most likely receive message attacks. But do you think you'd be okay?
Don't put it that way. That sounds scary. It's okay. I'd rather be able to communicate with her than not communicate at all.
You're right. You're so good at communicating with people, right?
Well, that's how I managed to survive.
I'll give your information to my mother then. If she was being too annoying while you were busy, don't hesitate to tell me. I'll make sure to let her know.
Thank you.
And if she says something you don't like, just let me know.
Something I don't like?
I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, I'd like to think so, but you know, my mom's a little picky about education.
Education?
My father graduated from Harvard University, and my mom went to a sophisticated university. So she's like, education is a must. I was forced to take the middle school entrance exam to enter a private middle school, and they also decided on high school and university without asking me anything.
Was that so?
I really wanted to go to the same school as my friends. I was so surprised when I found out they made me take the high school entrance exams.
Am I going to be okay?
She told me to be like my dad, so I think maybe she just wanted me to have a higher education. I really want to believe that. I don't think she'd say anything to you. I'm sorry I made you feel uneasy.
No, it's okay. She's the mother who gave birth and raised you. I don't think she would judge people based on their academic background.
Thank you for saying that.
And I'm sure she will understand when I explain to her.
You are very reliable. I'll send my mother your info.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, how are you? I'm Anna, Sam's mother. I'm sorry to contact you on such short notice, even though we're meeting tomorrow. Is this Mia's number?
Hello, nice to meet you. I have been in a relationship with Sam. Thank you for contacting me.
There's something I wanted to ask you before we meet tomorrow, and that is why I asked my son to give me your contact information. Was that okay with you?
Yes, of course. I'm glad to hear from you. By the way, what is it that you wanted to ask me?
Tomorrow we're going to have lunch together, right? I was planning to order sushi. There's a great place nearby. I was wondering if it is okay to eat raw fish.
Thank you very much. I love sushi.
That's great. You contacted me to confirm that? Sushi is an incidental question. Incidental question. From here is what I really wanted to hear from you. Did you know that both my son and my husband graduated from Harvard University? Yes, of course I know that. My husband is no longer with us, but he graduated from one of the best universities in the US, and then he worked for one of the biggest companies in the US. Thankfully, I could stay as a housewife too. After all, in this world, education is everything, isn't it? I think that's partially true. Sam graduated from Harvard and works for a company with a good salary. He sends me money every month even though I can live on my husband's inheritance. He doesn't want me to spend the inheritance so much for the future. Sam told me about the money he sends you. He's a wonderful son, isn't he? Yes, he is. When my husband died, I didn't know what to do. But with his support, I can live on that. Above all, I'm so happy to see my masterpiece like this. Masterpiece? You mean Sam? I made him try all kinds of education from a young age, and it was worth it to send him to a private school since he was in middle school and then to Harvard. I've heard that you were passionate about education. My husband's parents are both highly educated. I didn't go to Harvard, but I went to a famous private university. I heard you graduated from a very prestigious private university. That's right. It's often called the University for the Princess. But its deviation score is higher than most famous private universities. My parents also graduated from a university. I really think that smartness is something that is inherited. Inherited, huh? That's why I want my son to have a relationship with a well-educated woman and marry an educated woman, and have child who are smart. I see. Now, here's the important thing. Which university did you go to, Mia? I'm very sorry to say this, but I didn't go to university. What? What do you mean? Did you say you didn't even go to Harvard nor a private university? I'm sorry. I didn't go to any public or private schools. Oh, so you went to a university overseas? My educational background is a high school graduate. A high school graduate? You're kidding, right? How can such a person meet my son? Oh no, this is some kind of joke, isn't it? Is this kind of joke popular among young people these days? No, it's not a joke. You and my son met at work and had an in-house romance, right? That's what I heard. As you said, it was an in-house romance. If you work at the same company as my son, you must have a good education to get a job. So why would a high school graduate? Please allow me to explain it to you. Did you get the job through some back channel? What? Back channel? I'm sure that's right. You probably enter the company using women as a weapon. If you get into a good company, you're more likely to meet a well-educated, well-paid man and have a better chance of getting married. I can't believe that my precious, precious son, whom I took so much care of, will be caught by such a stupid and cunning woman. Wait a minute, Mother. Let me explain properly. I don't want to be called Mother. I don't want to be your mother-in-law either. Please pretend this marriage never happened. My son was not raised cheap enough to marry a high school graduate like you. Wow. It's true that my final education is a high school graduate, but I have my reasons. No matter what the reason is, it doesn't change the fact. The fact is that you graduated from high school. He's always been good at studying, but he doesn't have an eye for women. The girlfriend he brought back in the past says she wouldn't go to university either. I guess I should help him prepare the wife. What? Prepare? My husband and I are both highly educated. If I contact some people, I'm sure we can find a match for him who is a young lady from a good family. Please listen to me. I decline. If I keep talking to a high school graduate, I'll get stupid. So I'll leave you alone now. Please give up on marrying Sam.
Please, wait a minute. Please let me talk to you, including Sam.
I told you to give up on marrying Sam, didn't I? I haven't even prepared sushi, so get the hell out of here. If my late husband finds out that a high school graduate stepped into our house, he would be really sad.
I came here to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you.
Even so, why would you turn us away at the door like that?
It's your fault for trespassing on our noble property.
Sam is angry too.
He's just a child. He doesn't understand. He'll understand in a little while.
You didn't even listen to Sam's opinion, and mine, and I was really surprised when you poured a bucket of water on me.
It looked really good on a high school graduate.
So you're saying you don't want to listen to us?
You think a high school graduate story is worth listening to? Don't buy yourself any favors. You're just a high school graduate.
You will regret it.
It's you who will regret that you couldn't marry my son. A high school graduate doesn't deserve a son who graduated from Harvard. Tell him the truth and break up with my son.
Your son works for me.
What? What are you talking about? Works for you? Of course not. I can understand if you were his subordinate.
Well, not exactly my subordinate, but an employee I have hired. He's almost like my right-hand man. I'd say partner is more appropriate than subordinate.
Hired? What? What do you mean?
Are you finally willing to listen to me?
Explain it to me quickly. Why is my son your employee?
It's like I said. I am the president of the company your son works for.
President? Don't be silly. How can you be the president when you graduated from high school?
I started my own business when I was in middle school. It's not that unusual these days.
Starting a business in middle school?
I think studying is important, but I wanted to focus on growing the company rather than taking exams. I wanted to focus on expanding the size of the company during my high school years, so I chose not to go to university.
I beg your pardon?
In my case, my parents were also running a company, so they were very understanding.
You're not telling me that my son is working for a company started by a middle school student, right?
Oh, that company was bought out when I was still a teenager.
Bought out?
I mean, I sold it. Sold it for a pretty good price. The company I have right now is the one that I started when I was in my 20s using the money as a capital.
Wait a minute. What? You sound like a shrewd businessman.
I wouldn't go so far as to call myself a shrewd businessman, but I'd say I'm one of the successful people. Like I can own 3 departments in a high-rise condominium.
A 3 department in a high-rise condominium? How much money are you making?
However, I'm still a high school graduate. I'm a business owner and I'm proud of my social credibility, but when people mention my educational background, it's a sore point for me. If you think educational background is the most important thing, I have nothing to say.
No. I just thought that if you only had a high school diploma, you'll be after Sam's money. I don't know. I didn't know you.
You didn't want to listen to me, did you?
It was all a misunderstanding. Yes, there were misunderstandings.
I was very much looking forward to meeting the mother of such a nice man like Sam. I felt that since you raised someone like him, you must be an amazing person. I guess my expectation was too high. I don't think I will be able to greet you properly face to face, so we're leaving.
Wait a minute. I'll get the sushi now.
Why don't we have a little chat? It seems we need to get to know each other better. I've decided to leave based on Sam's decision, so if you'll excuse me... Wait a minute, Mia. From the moment I saw your name, I knew there was something about you. Isn't Mia a wonderful name? And you're a beautiful woman, right? Educational background doesn't matter, does it? What matters is what you've done. Just because Sam said he's cutting you off, I don't think you need to flatter me. No, I just want to talk to you. I'm sorry. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Please don't say that. We're going to be in-laws, right? You're going to be the wife of my son. We should talk to get to know each other better and get along better. I'm not marrying into your family. What? What do you mean? I mean it as it is. I'm not getting married to him. Sam is going to be marrying into my family. Wait a minute, what? You're joking, right? Your son doesn't want a surname from a family that only values the academic background of people. He won't give it up. He said he's cutting off his family name and everything. That's not true. He's my only son, and if he does that, my family would be... It is Sam's choice. He said he's at the end of his patience. He's at the end of his patience. You've always denied his decisions. He said he's been surrounded by your decisions for a long time. Even when he made a girlfriend, you made them break up once she mentioned that she wants to go to vocational school instead of university. I only chose the right person for Sam. That ex-girlfriend went to a fashion school. She's now a world-famous wedding dress designer. Did you know that? You're kidding. She's the designer of the dress I want to wear for my wedding too. She is now happily married and raising a family, and her work is going well too. In the end, there is a tendency to place importance on academic background in some areas, but I think it is also important to respect individuals other than their academic background. Did you look at anything other than Sam's academic background? Of course I did. I'm his mother. But you didn't even know about the company he was working for. Since he graduated from Harvard and his salary was really good, I assumed he'd be working for a big company just like his father. He said he's going to stop sending money from his salary. What? Stop sending money? That's what it means to cut ties with him. Oh no. What am I supposed to do with my life? I'm sorry. I thought we'd get married and become a family, even if it's in-law status. It's not too late. I can go out to your place myself. Let's redo the wedding greeting. There's no need to redo it. It actually didn't even start. You were the one who dumped a bucket of water on me before it even started. I'm really sorry about that. I apologize. I'm glad we met once at least. Let's meet again and again from now on, not just once. We've decided to break off our relationship with you, so I know it's been a real short time, but goodbye. I said my final greetings and blocked her. I deleted her contact. Sam also blocked her and deleted her contact as well. I never heard from his mother again. Now she received no allowance from her son and spends her remaining inheritance little by little. I only heard from his relatives that she is leading a lonely life, crying when she looks at the album.
Morning, sunshine. Did I wake you? Another late night, I bet.
Hey, Dad. Actually, no, I was awake. I mean, it was a late night and I was always at the bar. But I woke up early today. Just been lying here thinking.
Have you been sleeping okay lately? I'm not trying to be nosy. Guess I'm just catching up with you after all these years you've been gone.
Not really, but that's nothing new for me. A guilty conscience? Or just too much coffee and cigarettes, maybe. How about a little bit of both? Isn't that a hell of a thing? Runs in the family. Let my boys be honest. So what is it? No, nothing new. Just thinking about Scarlet, as usual. Ah, yes. Scarlet, of course. I wish I could have gotten to meet her. She sounds like she sure was something. Yeah, well, she was. I guess we really weren't in each other's lives then. Yeah, sorry about that. You've said sorry enough. Well, it's good to have you back in town. It's been a long time, son. You've experienced a lot out there, haven't you? A lot of rough roads you've traveled. Yeah, Dad. A lot of rough roads. Well, I just can't tell you, son, how happy I am to... Well, you know. I know, Dad. It's okay. We both feel the same way. We don't have to always say it. Well, I guess we just thought the worst of each other for a long time. It's all over now, Dad. I'm back. For good? Sorry, I know you don't know that. I don't want to put pressure on you. So what about her? What about Scarlet? Are you seeing her again? Seeing ghosts? Are you saying that she was just a figment of my imagination? Never, but sometimes an old love can feel that way, can't they? Like they never existed, maybe. It was a brief marriage followed by a long haunting. I know the feeling. Mom? Yeah, your mother and I, we just weren't meant to be. It was a crazy few years. How is she? Is she still on the commune? Yep, still traveling around with the hippie festivals, selling jewelry and whatever else. The fish shows still? Yep, those two. She was always so talented with that jewelry. I still have a bracelet she made me, from way back when, you know? Really? I'd like to see that. Don't tell Mary Louise, though, okay? Do me that favor. I don't think my old lady would appreciate me keeping that around. It's between us, Dad. Thanks. Sometimes we hold on to the past, we hold on too tight. But sometimes it's nice to have a little keepsake. Like a wedding band? That is something I don't have. What did you do with it? Well, I figured I would try pawning it, but I got lowballed everywhere I went. Pawn shops are one big racket. That they are. So I tried selling it to some guy I knew down at the bar who was getting married, but that didn't work either. Why not? The girl ended up leaving him at the altar. I can't say that I blame the girl. The guy was a mess and a half. So what did you end up doing with it? I got drunk one night and chucked it off the Blue Goose Bridge. Well, that'll do it too. I tossed my wedding band out of a moving Greyhound bus. That'll work too. So, did y'all at least have a ceremony? Yeah, we'd been traveling at the time, on the road. We stopped in Reno for the night. The king made it official. You mean, the king? Well, an Elvis impersonator. I would have loved to have been there. Me too. So, tell me a little more about it. Tell me a little more about her. What do you want to know? I don't know, about your journey. Where it all began with Scarlet. God, where it all began? It began on the side of the road, I guess. Hey, Scarlet, do I, have the right number?
You very well might, Jack. I was hoping that you'd reach out. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm very glad that you didn't give me a fake number. That was my biggest fear.
Oh, well, I meant to, but I got it confused with my real one, so...
Oh, right. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sure that's something that happens to you all the time.
Not too often at all, actually. I don't give my number out to everyone, believe it or not.
No, I don't think you do. I was just kidding.
No, it's okay. But, I was thinking about you.
Really? You were? In what way?
About how you looked on the side of the road waiting for that bus, the rain pouring down on you.
And what did I look like?
Like a stray dog.
A stray dog? Great.
A stray dog just begging for my help.
Well, I guess I was, and you gave it to me. Thank you for that. It's not very often that people help out strangers these days.
What can I say? I have a soft heart, and you were cute.
You ought to get that checked out, and so are you.
No, I'll be okay.
So, listen.
Yes? I'm listening.
Let me take you to lunch to thank you. You dropped me off so quickly, I didn't really get a chance to thank you properly.
Well, I guess we could do that, sure. When do you want to go?
How about now?
Oh, now?
What's wrong with now? Do you have someplace to be?
I guess not. Okay, yeah, sure. What the hell?
All right, great. Where do you want to go?
There's a great lunch place downtown, Ezekiel's. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah, that super fancy place I see all the business people in.
Well, I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's not that fancy.
I looked at the menu once. $25 for soup.
Is that a lot?
Oh, I grew up kind of poor, so I guess that seems a little bit, outrageous to me.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds awful.
So from that statement, I take it you grew up with money.
Well, I guess my parents did okay. I mean, we did have a lake house.
You mean like a second house?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. I guess that is sort of a lot, isn't it? I'm not really aware of these things sometimes. I'm trying to be better at it.
No, it's okay. I don't feel bad about it or anything. It is what it is, you know?
Who were your parents?
Well, my parents were not really together for very long. My mom was kind of a hippie.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, well, I guess. My dad was delivering a shipment of powdered milk to their little commune. When he got the truck back to the station and opened the back doors, he found her in the back.
She was a stowaway?
Yeah, she was trying to escape. It's not that it was a terrible place, I guess, but it was just, well, she was kind of flaky, you know, flighty. I guess borderline personality disorder is the actual name for it.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. That's so hard. My aunt is bipolar, so I kind of understand.
Yeah, thanks. It's tough. We didn't talk for a really long time, but things are a lot better now.
What about your dad? Do you talk to him?
On and off. I don't currently, though, no. We aren't really getting along.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. He's a difficult guy. He's always with some woman or another, working some job or another, sometimes drinking, sometimes not. You know the type. Or, I guess you might not.
No, maybe I don't.
Maybe we're from different worlds, I'm getting the feeling.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. I love to meet all sorts of people. I think you should learn from everybody, right? People are beautiful.
Some are, sure, I guess so.
Yeah, everyone is.
You are.
Come on, Jack.
Sorry, is that moving too fast?
Yes, but I'll take the compliment. And I do want to have lunch, and I don't care where we have it, okay?
That sounds good. Want to pick me up?
Well, you know where I live.
So, she had a problem with you being a poor boy, huh? With a deadbeat for a daddy?
No, Dad, that's not what she thought. I'm sorry if I gave you that impression.
Actually, she really wanted to meet you. It's fine. Most of that is true anyway. I was very far from perfect. But she was for money, huh? And you still couldn't figure out a way to work it out?
Yeah, well, sometimes it isn't always your choice, you know?
So it was hers?
Well, I guess it was no one, but I guess we didn't really meet under the best of circumstances.
What are you talking about? It sounds like a really sweet story to me. You standing on the side of the road waiting for the bus for the East Coast in the rain?
Yeah, but, I mean, I was trying to be a supposed artist at the time, and she was, well, soon to be divorced.
Wait, she was married when you first met?
Yep. I never told you that, did I?
No, you didn't.
I guess you could say that I helped her decide to get it finalized. He wasn't a good guy, but the type of guy that her parents would have preferred she be with.
Oh, so that was a part of it too then, huh? They didn't approve of your poor family either?
Scarlett didn't care either way, but her parents, well, yeah, they were not too fond of me, to be honest.
So who was this ex-husband of hers?
The son of a real estate developer.
Okay, well that's all you had to say.
Her parents weren't too happy with us either, so we headed out west.
Hello, my love. Where are you? I awoke and you had abandoned me.
Buying snacks for the road, Shakespeare. You were snoring so loud I think you woke the whole motel up, so I had to get out.
Whoops. I guess you'll have to get used to that.
I wonder if Elvis snores.
The real Elvis or the impersonator that married us?
Wait, I thought that guy was the real Elvis.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot. You believe in that sort of thing.
What sort of thing is that?
Conspiracies and stuff.
Hey, only the fun ones. UFOs, the moon landing, the Kennedy assassination.
Well, those are the big three. Hey, what about Bigfoot?
Come on, are you serious?
What?
Bigfoot is hardly a conspiracy.
Okay, then what is he?
He's his own man, out on his own, doing his thing. There's no conspiracy there. The definition of a conspiracy has to be more than one person.
Well, how do you know there's not more than one Bigfoot?
I guess I don't. You have a lot to learn, husband.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, wife. So what's next? Where are we going to go?
Well, California isn't far.
I've never been.
You've never been to California? Are you serious?
Honey, I've never been to Nevada. I've never been to any of the states that we've been through.
I guess I forgot how little traveling you've done, but now we can do it together.
Yes, we can. Drive this car as far as we can, right?
That's right, babe. We have a tank full of gas in each other, and no one can hold us back now.
Scarlett, I never thought that I'd find anybody like you. Somebody that I could leave the world behind with.
I know. Me either. I thought that I was going to be stuck in one life forever, one track heading to the inevitable. But now, here we are.
And here we go. Well, it sounds like you two were deeply in love. Almost puts a tear to my eyes, to be honest.
Oh, we were. Very much so. There was no one else like her, at least not to me, Dad. And there never will be.
Oh, come on, you don't know that. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, fish in the sea, but every fish is different, right?
A fish is a fish.
A fish is not a fish, and I found that out.
I'm not sure what we're talking about now, but I guess those first few years are always the best. At least usually. That's the way it was with your mother and I.
Those were the only years for you guys. And I guess those are going to be the only ones for us, too. Things really do happen in cycles, huh, Dad?
Hey, don't torture yourself. It's not worth it, believe me. I've gone down that path way too many times.
Yeah, I know, Dad.
I guess I wish I'd been around to help you out with that. Maybe tell you about my experiences. I can't help but think that maybe it would have helped at the time.
It's okay, Dad, really. You can stop saying things like that. I absolve you.
Well, okay. So, things were going so well, so what the hell happened?
I guess it was a few years later when things started getting bad. We'd put down roots again for a while, but eventually the road was calling us again. So we saved up enough money to hit it for a while.
Scarlett, where are you?
I'm in the diner. Don't come in here.
But why not? What are you so upset about this time?
This time? What do you mean this time? I'm always upset these days.
Yeah, and I guess I just don't understand it. I was hoping maybe you could finally enlighten me.
Come on, you know.
But we talked about this. It was only one time. And that's why we went on this trip, right? To reconnect, to finally figure out this thing once and for all.
This thing? By that do you mean our marriage?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what else do you call it? That's what it is to you now, right? A thing, a beast to be reckoned with.
Oh, please, stop with the dramatics.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the dramatic one.
Yeah, you kind of are. Ever since we left, it's been one thing after another. You're just so overbearing.
Like how? Like me trying to deal with our relationship, me bringing up painful topics?
Yes, exactly, Jack. Maybe I'm not ready to deal with a lot of it yet.
I told you, she meant nothing to me. She was just some girl.
And how does that make it any better?
Well, it's not like you were necessarily available at the time either, Scarlett.
You know that I was with my family dealing with my dad's will.
Yeah, it was your family and money coming between us again.
Jack?
Yeah, Scarlett?
Can we be honest with each other? Maybe for once in a long time?
I think that would probably be good. I think we both need to be on the same page.
Okay, well, this is going to be very hard to say, but...
But, let me say it for you, because I think that we're both feeling the same way.
Okay, what is it then?
That it's maybe time for us to end.
End?
You know.
Yeah, I do. I think we both agree that that's best.
What we had was so special for such a long time.
No one can take that away from us, Jack. Maybe we let other stuff get between us, and we both messed up along the way.
I'm sorry, Scarlett.
I am too. I'll always love you.
I'll always love you too.
Maybe we'll meet again someday. On that old avenue where I found you?
Yeah, maybe. Well, gosh, damn, Jack, that's heartbreaking.
The car broke down a few miles down the road, so we abandoned it and both hitched. Separately. Can you believe that?
Where did she end up?
I don't really know. Last I heard, the Northwest, way up there. But who knows by now, she was a rambling girl.
The ground beneath her is always moving, eh?
Yep.
Well, I suppose it takes one to know one.
It certainly does, and we knew each other as well as any two people could.
I was talking about you and I.
Oh, well, I guess that too, Dad.
So is that when you ended up in the Great North Woods, in New Orleans, the fishing boat? I want to hear that stuff.
You're really interested in that stuff, aren't you?
I'm interested in the parts where you're alone. I guess because I was alone for so long as well, I know the landscape, so to speak.
Well, I was definitely alone for a long time. I went deep into those woods, literally and figuratively.
So it was a logger's town, huh?
Yeah, loggers and their families, but mostly single guys there for 6 months for the job. Guys on the road, running from something, either the law themselves or a woman.
So, guys like you then?
Basically, yeah. And some of those dudes were pretty rough customers. Drug dealers, ex-cons, real tough guys.
So what were you doing?
Well, I definitely wasn't cutting down trees, if that's what you were asking.
You're my son. I know you aren't one for that kind of work. You take after me.
Well, you'd be right. I was a cook in a little restaurant there in town, a breakfast place.
Oh yeah? I was going to say that doesn't sound too bad, but in fact it sounds like hell on earth.
For a while it was alright, but then, well, I met my boss's wife.
Uh-oh.
She was beautiful, Dad. A redhead.
Your mother was a redhead. Still is, I reckon.
Let's not bring Dr. Freud into it.
Sorry.
She was wearing capri jeans and heels, red toenails with a small gold anklet. The fluorescent lights were reflecting off of it, a solid pink beam. I thought I was seeing some sort of ethereal vision.
Boy, what do they put in the pancake batter up there?
Anyway, I never did like it all that much anyway, and after I met her, one day the axe just fell. Jack, are you at your apartment?
Yes, Susie, I'm home. Where are you?
I'm in bed, lying next to Chuck.
Is he snoring and farting at the same time as usual?
Yes, he's a natural modern marvel, and one that I need to get away from as soon as I possibly can.
You've been in this town your whole life.
You don't understand, Jack. I've barely left the state ever in my entire life.
Ever? But how old are you?
You know it's not polite to ask a woman that.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Where are my manners?
It's okay. I'm only giving you a hard time. I've been married to Chuck for 8 years, and he's brought me flowers twice, Jack. Twice. We've been having our whatever this is.
Affair?
Okay, yes, affair for 8 months now, and you've already bought me flowers 3 times. And there's nowhere I can even put them, Jack. I can't keep them at home. I can't even keep them in my car.
I'm sorry.
Come on, don't apologize for buying me flowers.
Well, then I won't.
You mean you bought me more? Oh, come on, Jack.
Just one more, and please promise me that you'll put them in your house.
You know I can't promise that.
But they'll be the last. Forever.
Forever?
I'm leaving, Susie.
Where are you going? What do you mean?
I can't be here anymore. It's time for me to move on.
But what about me? What about us?
I care about you, Susie, but you're married to my boss.
You told me that's never stopped you before.
Yeah, well, those days are behind me. Maybe I'm trying to learn from my mistakes.
And maybe I'm trying to make some.
I'm leaving next week, Susie. I'm sorry.
Take me with you, please, Jack. We can run away from this town together. Just leave it all behind.
I can't do that, Susie. I can't risk breaking your heart like I broke hers.
You mean that girl's? The one from your past?
Yeah, I can never forgive myself.
But you have to, Jack. You can't beat yourself up forever.
Don't you have one? I mean, the one that got away.
I think that I'm about to have mine.
I'm sorry, Susie.
I'm sorry too, Jack. I've not been totally honest with you.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's Chuck. I think he knows about us.
What do you mean he knows?
The flowers. I think he smelled them in my car, and then, well, he just picked up on us. And I'm afraid of what he might do to you. That's why I need to come with you, Jack. Don't you see?
I guess I'll be packing tonight then.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'll have to leave as soon as I can.
Please, Jack, take me with you, please!
I can't, Susie. I'm a loner, don't you see? It's my calling. It's my destiny. It's the only way I know.
Okay, Jack, I understand. But please, never forget me.
I could never forget you, Susie. I promise.
You've given me a hope for a world outside of all this. I want you to know that.
I'll see you again someday, Susie.
Goodbye, Jack.
So, did you ever hear from her again? Or her husband?
No, never again.
Wow, you're sure to attract them, aren't you?
I guess I will take after my old man.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but it's true.
So I drifted down to where the women are even more mysterious, to New Orleans.
A beautiful town.
It is, if you're actually staying in it, but I saw it from the water mostly, just the coast. I was working for a while on a fishing boat, lucky to be employed.
A fishing boat, really? Now that is some serious hard work. I worked on a boat once when I was a kid for a summer, and it dang near kicked my keister.
And it definitely taught me what I was made of, and it wasn't much, I found out. Nothing much except lonesomeness.
Lonesome in New Orleans, huh?
That boat was lonely. I couldn't relate to any of those guys. They were reading pornography. I was reading Proust.
Ah, so they thought you were a fancy boy, huh? and it didn't help that I couldn't understand a word they were saying to me.
Pretty Cajun accents, huh?
Oh yeah, you have no idea how thick those can be until you hear them in person every day.
But you never got used to it, though? Never picked up on it?
I don't think I worked on it long enough. I was only on it for a few months before I skipped land.
What happened?
I got into a fight with one of the guys.
Ah, so you got yourself fired then, huh?
I guess it was kind of a mutual thing.
That's what you say about all of your breakups. Where did you land? In the water?
Back in Orleans. On land.
Ah, I bet hitting Bourbon Street helped you out. Got you back in the saddle, huh?
No, Dad. I still felt all alone. The past close behind.
But come on, there's a million women in New Orleans for you to pick from. You couldn't find one?
Yeah, Dad, I saw a lot of women, but she never escaped my mind.
So where did you go?
Where do I always go? Back on the road. Back to the next place, the next job, the next woman.
You really were hell-bent on some self-destruction, weren't you?
I guess I was lost.
I hate to break it to you, son, but I think you still are.
But after New Orleans, it was a whole other level. I did some bad things, Dad.
Bad things? What kind of bad things?
Just bad things. For money. Things I felt that I had to do at the time.
Well, if you did, you did.
It's good to be back here with you. Back in my hometown, where I have roots. Maybe I'll grow some more. You know, meet a girl, start a family.
I think you need to learn a little bit more from your story first. I think you have a long way to go before you're out of these woods.
What do you mean?
I mean, that isn't your whole story, right? I mean, you didn't come from New Orleans straight to here, straight to me.
No, there was more.
Are you finally ready to talk about it, son? Are you finally ready to move on with your life?
I don't know. I'm going to need your support.
I'm here, son. I'm listening. I'm finally listening.
Well, it was a foggy Mississippi night, and the neon was glowing bright.